Alright, hi Kelly, my name is Emily. I'm going to be the nurse doing your assessment today, and this is part 3 of my final video. Always start off by washing your hands, so I'm doing that. And then I'm going to inspect the patient. Normally their shirt is off and you're inspecting the abdomen. So I'm looking for any abnormalities, any peristalsis, herniations, masses. And then I'm also going to have you go chin to chest, and I'm going to look for any muscle wall separation. Also any herniations or masses at this time, and you can rest your head back down. And I'm also inspecting the umbilicus at this time as well. Then I'm going to go ahead and just listen to all 4 quadrants with the diaphragm of the stethoscope, starting in the right lower quadrant, working my way up to the right upper quadrant, and then to the left upper and left lower. And then you'll also want to assess the renal arteries with the bell of your stethoscope. So if you turn this around, and this is just a little above the umbilicus to the left, and on the right also. So you're checking the renal arteries there, and then you're going to also check the aorta. And you want to be checking for any bruits, which is any turbulent blood flow through a stenotic vessel. Okay. Then moving on, I'm going to go ahead and percuss the abdomen here. So starting in the right lower quadrant again, and I'm going to tap my middle finger to my other middle finger. And with the percussion, you're going to hear tympany and dullness. Tympany is like an air fluid filled cavity, and dullness is like a solid organ, or if you have stool in your belly. So those are the sounds that you'll hear there. Then I'm going to start by lightly palpating the patient's abdomen in the right lower quadrant. In here we're palpating for any masses or any tenderness. So please let me know if this hurts you at all. Okay, and then we're going to do deep palpation. So you could use 2 hands for this, starting in the right lower quadrant again, and working your way up. And then over to the other side on the left upper quadrant, and then the left lower quadrant. And then we're also going to check for the liver on the right and the spleen on the left by having the patient take a big deep breath and then letting it out. Okay, and then you're going to push in and feel there for the liver. And then we're also going to do it on the other side for the spleen. In and out. Okay, and that's intact. Any tenderness there? No. Okay, very good. Then I'm also going to check the inguinal lymph nodes, and we just go ahead and palpate, and then also palpate the other side, and then the arteries, femoral arteries on the right and on the left, and you're checking for the pulses there, and that's good. Okay, then I'm going to have the patient go ahead and sit up, just on the edge here. And I'm going to start with my lower extremity assessment. So I'm just going to observe the patient and their color of their skin. If there's any discolorations, that would be indicative of some vascular disease. Just overall appearance of the skin. Hair growth, hair distribution. Usually on males you would want to look at that. Then I'm going to go ahead and palpate the legs here. And I'm checking for temperature, turgor, for any edema, and we're going to do that bilaterally. Okay, and then I'm also going to go ahead and check the pulse. So first the dorsalis pedis on the top of the feet. And I'm going to check that bilaterally. Then the posterior tibial. And also bilaterally here. And then the popliteal behind the knees here. Okay, and those feel strong pulses. Then I'm going to check some range of motion and strength. So I'm going to have the patient kind of range of motion with your ankles, your feet and toes. Yep, go ahead and wiggle, move your ankles around bilaterally. Very good, and the strength looks good there. Then I'm going to go ahead and just do flexion extension of your feet here. So if you push down and pull up, very good. And then I'm going to do range of motion on the left and right side here. So I'm going to do passive range of motion here for the patient. And then I'm going to have the patient do this by herself. Very good. And then I'm going to do same for the other side. And then have you do it. So active range of motion. Very good. And then I am going to have you go ahead and lie back down. And I'm going to check for the hips and the hip strength. So I'm just going to go ahead and feel the hips there. Okay, and then I'm going to bring up your leg here. There we go. And we're going to go out and in. Okay, and then back down. And also the same with this one. We're going to go up and out and in and back down. And the range of motion is very good there. Then I'm also going to assess the legs for the length to make sure that they're equal on both sides. So Kelly's legs look good. They're both equal in size, so that's perfect. Then I'm going to have you go ahead and just sit back up on the edge of the bed here. And I'm going to test your strength here with you pushing out and then in. Very good. And overall, while the patient's sitting here, you're just going to state that I'm checking the patient's gait, muscular, their symmetry, muscular atrophy, how their muscles are working, how the patient's gait and posture is throughout this whole assessment. So then we're going to move on to finishing our neurological portion. So at this time I'm going to have you touch your nose to my finger. Okay. Okay. Okay, and we see that that is intact. Then I'm also going to have you touch your fingers to your thumbs. Very good. Just throughout both sides bilaterally. And that is intact, so that's good also. Then I'm going to have you go ahead and stand up. And I'm just going to have you walk back and forth so I can observe your gait. Okay, and then walk back. And then I want to see you walk heel to toe. Very good. And then I'm also going to check the Romberg test, where you close your eyes and stand here. And I'm going to go ahead and guard the patient so that she doesn't fall over. And you would want to assess this for 20 seconds. Okay, you can open your eyes again. Okay, and we're good there. And then I also do want to have the patient go ahead and bend down and like touch your knees. And I'm just going to assess the spine. And that is intact. This looks good there. No curvatures or any abnormalities, so you can stand back up. And then I'm also going to have you bend from one side, yep, side to side, and twist. And then lean back and forward. Very good, and your range of motion is intact there. So that looks good. And that concludes our musculoskeletal abdominal assessment. And then I also forgot to mention we would check the breast and axilla, but we're not inspecting that in this assessment. So just a statement that it would be done in a full head to toe assessment. And that's it. Thank you. And I would wash my hands again. Bye.